On tonight's show, we strap on the harnesses to show you a cool place to climb the walls in East York. We uncover the man and the mystery behind the historic Ted Reeve Arena. And we take a hard look at the game that's bringing communities together. Centennial Sports TV starts right now. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Matt Levicki.
And I'm Jordan Reginato. Thank you for joining us tonight.
We got a great lineup this evening. A lot of cool, fun stories. Jordan, what do we got up first?
Hockey is here, and I personally love it. Local rinks will be echoing with the sound of skates and sticks banging against the ice. Toronto's East End, Ted Reeve Arena, has been a staple in minor hockey for 55 years now. Our own CSTV, Victoria Quarmby, tells us about the legacy of community spirit that's housed within the arena that bears his name.
Ted Reeve Arena has seen many generations of hockey players come through its doors, and with its recent reopening for public skating, it will be seeing even more young skaters cross its ice. But curiously, the man behind the name was not a hockey player. He was both a lacrosse player and, more famously, a football player, winning 2 Grey Cups. But the naming of the hall came during his later career as a sports writer for the Toronto Telegram.
He wrote a couple of articles that were very instrumental in getting people to be aware of the need for a community arena.
The East End was in desperate need of an indoor rink due to mild winters rendering the outdoor rinks unusable, so Reeve came to the rescue, spearheading the fundraising campaign. But over 50 years later, do today's players know the significance of the name of the arena they play in?
So I really have no idea. I would like to find out though.
I believe it's after a hockey player, possibly, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was a famous athlete, local sports hero.
Despite being one of Canada's best all-round sportsmen and an integral part to the building of the arena right behind me, it seems strange that no one knows anything about Ted Reeve. So I decided to hit the streets and see whether the beach's residents knew more about the history of the local rink.
I'm guessing it's named after Ted Reeve, but I have no idea who that is.
I have no idea. I know it's named after somebody, but that's all I know.
I actually don't know, to my horror. I haven't even thought about it. I just know that there's ice there and they play hockey. So maybe it's somebody associated with hockey.
The name is synonymous with hockey in this neighborhood, and the legacy left behind is indisputable.
It's an arena that has charm, and because it's so local, people know so many people from here and have so many memories. So it's got a nice, warm history to it, and it carries on.
And the pride in the man who brought them a rink is evident in the portraits all around the building, with Ted Reeve watching over all budding young sports stars that enter. For Centennial Sports TV, I'm Victoria Quarmby.
Thanks, Victoria. That's a great story on a local community legend. Moving now to some high school girls basketball action, and the East York Goliaths have been dominating their opponents all season long. In their final regular season game against Mark Garneau, the ladies had a chance to do something that would be something quite memorable. Steve Kolovakos is on the court with the story.
Competitive sports is all about winning, but how many athletes get the chance to compete for a perfect season? Picture this. It was Tuesday afternoon, it was the final game of the regular season, and the junior girls of East York were a perfect 5-0. In the way was a road game against the Cougars of Mark Garneau. It's amazing the amount of success the East York Goliaths have had, considering how little time they've actually spent playing together.
A lot of these girls, to us, have never played together before, maybe 3 of them, and they work as a team, they respect each other, they are dedicated and they're committed to the sport.
And it definitely shows. Ranked number 1 in their division, East York had its sights set on the win, and it seemed like they wouldn't let anyone get in their way. The girls have had to stick to the same demanding practice schedule all year long, and because of it, every player on the roster is almost as good as the next.
Our first string and our second string may be differentiated with a couple of degrees, so we do have a very strong bench because we practice every morning and every lunch. No excuses.
Coming into this game, East York has dominated the opposition. Not only have they scored over 300 points, they've only allowed 63. That's an average score of 61-13. Mark Garneau, on the other hand, winless on the season, tried hard as they could to stay in this one, but they were clearly overmatched. On par with the stats, this one wasn't even close. Final score, 77-12. So how does it feel to have a perfect season?
It feels really good.
We're undefeated. We've worked pretty hard. We've had practices every day, every lunch. So I think we've earned it.
With a perfect season comes great praise, but it also brings added pressure to succeed. Only time will tell if the momentum will carry the girls to a city championship. While their first round opponent in the playoffs is uncertain, what isn't is their place in school history. For Centennial Sports TV, I'm Steve Konvakos.
Now, I'd just like to say congratulations to the girls in their perfect season. Now, last week we brought you the high school girls field hockey quarterfinal matchups where Leaside High and Riverdale Collegiate moved on. But unfortunately, both teams were eliminated in the semifinals. However, East York Collegiate and Malvern stepped up and they met yesterday in the South Region Finals. Yes, the Umbrellas were out for this wet one. Yep, it was a wet and wild one yesterday, and people are trying to find cover any which way they can. These girls found an interesting way. Now, EYC defeated Leaside 1-0 on Tuesday, but Malvern has had their number this season, beating them in 2 previous contests. And this game would be no different. Despite several close scoring opportunities, Malvern shut out East York for the 3rd time this season to take a 2-0 win and the South Region title. It's not all bad news for East York, though. Their second place finish will still take them to the city championships, which go next week at U of T's Varsity
We're really
Stadium.
looking forward to going to the city championships. And last year our team won Tier 2, and this is the first year we've had a team in Tier 1, and we've surpassed our expectations and hope to be successful next week as well.
When we come back, we've searched high and low for a unique way to work out in East York. And later, the curling story that will sweep you off your feet. Stay tuned.
What if you could live your sports dream off the playing field? At Centennial College in Toronto, those dreams could become a reality. Welcome to the Graduate Sports Journalism Program, where students can learn their craft from some of Canada's finest journalists.
What we're interested in graduating is not just jocks, but great storytellers who have a passion for sport.
The students have the opportunity to get hands-on training. They get to go to sports games and do reports.
So what are you waiting for? Log on to centennialcollege.ca to find out how to apply.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us here on CTV for pretty much the best college show that I believe is live streamed on Friday nights. Now, once labeled as an extreme sport, rock climbing has become a very popular workout and more user-friendly over the years. And with the cold weather right around the corner, the Toronto Climbing Academy provides an exciting alternative to the typical gym visit. Elena Pagliarello went to scale the walls to find the story.
I'm always looking for new ways to keep active and have fun. This week, I was feeling adventurous, so I thought I'd give rock climbing a try. It's easy to get started here at the Toronto Climbing Academy. Come in, take a lesson, and head to the wall. Even if you're a beginner, climbing uses your entire body. Instructor Darren Bernier says that after just one climb, you can feel the effects.
If it's a vertical route, then you tend to use your legs and your arms a lot more. Whereas if you're doing a big overhang route, then you usually have to keep your body tension really tight, so you use your abs a lot more and also your arms and legs to stay on.
Bernier has been with the club for 8 years and has seen the growth the sport has experienced. There are now over 500 members and more joining all the time. He says they see lots of people like me coming in to try something new all year long. But when the weather gets colder, climbers of all levels move indoors. For some, like veteran climber Normand Robert, it's a diversion from everyday life.
When you're climbing, you can't think about anything else. And that's probably the most important thing, because if you think about something else, you'll fall. And then by the end of the evening, you're focusing on what you're doing at the exclusion of all else. For a lot of us, I think that's the attraction of it.
Climbing is an activity that's actually fairly low-key. You can come in whenever you want and work at your own pace on the wall. So does that make it a sport or just a hobby?
Oh man, that's up for debate.
It's a hobby. I don't know. Well, it's a sport and a hobby, I guess. It's both.
If you're talking to a beginner, then it'll be a hobby. If you're talking to a hardcore person that comes into the gym almost every day like myself, it's a sport.
Whether climbing as a hobby or taking it a little bit more seriously, from summer right through to winter, climbers here have found a way to stay fit and bring the outdoor experience inside. For Centennial Sports TV, I'm Elena Pagliarello.
Thanks, Elena. It's great to see our CSTV reporters going to new heights to get this story. But now we're going to get down low, real low. Andrew Tokar has a beat on Centennial students dropping breakdancing moves just down the hall.
During the day at Centennial College, students routinely walk the halls from class to class. But on Thursday nights, a few students walk to a different beat. Meet the hip-hop elements.
Tactics.
Tactics?
Yeah. Mr. Future.
When Tactics isn't breakdancing, he's Andrew James, a broadcasting student at Centennial. But you might wonder why he uses the school as his studio.
It's free, man. I mean, like, we're here and we just go down and you don't get to complain. It allows us to just express ourselves. It's a good environment. It's kind of small, but like in breakdancing, I mean, no matter what the constrictions are, like we're always like improvising. You know, you see breakers out on the street, nothing but concrete, cement, everything. They still throw down, right? It's like, you know, like a lot of us don't have a lot of money to like be able to afford like studio time and stuff like that. So we make what we have.
Tactics has been breakdancing for over a decade, and through the years he sprained his wrists and ankles. It's his passion and his stress reliever, but don't challenge him that it's not a sport.
There's a lot of cardio involved, a lot of strength training, you know, that's involved in the aspect. So, and it's very competitive as well. So, in that sense, it falls under the umbrella of like a sport. I mean, if bowling is considered a sport, then why not breaking? Right? Not to dog people who bowl.
Follow the beats to the East Corridor, and you'll find Tactics. He might even show you a thing or two and give you a new name. For Centennial Sports, I'm Andrew Tokar.
You know, I always thought Andrew did look like a B-boy Specs. Now, in the world of sports, there is nothing more exciting than watching two rivals go at it. You got the Red Sox Yankees, Leafs Canadians, and high school volleyball is no different. I'm not kidding. Longtime foes Riverdale and Danforth Tech clash in a battle of undefeated teams in junior boys action this week. Neither team has dropped a set so far this season, so you know something has got to give. Let's go to the highlights. We're at Riverdale Collegiate, where the home Raiders are 3-0 and have their eye on first place in the division. But the Redhawks from Danforth Tech have plans of their own for first, as a strong defensive stand against Aiden Morrison Henshaw cuts an early Raiders lead to 5-4. With it 15-13 now for Danforth, Michael Chow sets up Alan Zhu here at the net for the massive spike, bringing Riverdale within one. But Danforth never gave up the lead, and at set point, Levi Falk's spike just sneaks in to win the first set 25-21. And the Redhawks kept coming in the second. Ertugrul Caracas smashes it down the line. Danforth's up 5-1. But there's no quit in these Raiders, and this weak effort by Kevin Sun at the net gives Riverdale the lead 11-8. Set point now for the Raiders. Caracas into the net. Riverdale takes it 25-22. We're headed for a tiebreaker, and the Raiders come out on fire. The Danforth D can't handle Zoo's rocket arm as Riverdale takes a huge 10-3 lead. Game point now, and Sun's serve goes just a bit long. The Raiders earn the 15-10 win, and the celebration is on. Riverdale's Brian Nguyen talked after the game after coming back against their rival.
Our first set, I guess you could say, was kind of like a warm-up because we were really nervous and we all had butterflies and we couldn't play as well as we should have, and we just retaliated in the second set and the third set. I knew it was going to be a hard game, so I just tried to boost up my team, just keep on telling them we can get us back, we can get this point back, and just go 1 point by 1 point.
And now we have Matt for the seniors game that day.
Thanks, Jordan. The noisy Riverdale crowd wants another win in the second game, but the Redhawks come out strong. Up 7-4 early with a nice setup here for Aiden Hazlitt. He smashes it down. Danforth looking good so far. Riverdale tries to keep it close late in the first set, playing strong D. Then John Yell Simpson with a magic touch at the net. Redhawks cut the lead to 21-14. Serving now against set point, Redhawks gain control. It's Hazlitt again. He gets into a spike, and the Riverdale D can't handle it. Danforth takes the opening set 25-17. Coach Ryan Wakeland trying to inspire the boys before the second set starts, but Danforth out strong again. Kyle Lamau, he gets some air, and it's blocked out of bounds. Redhawks lead 7-4. Stayed close the whole set. Riverdale down by 1. They watch this Danforth shot sail long, and it's tied at 21. 24-22 now Danforth. Riverdale fighting to stay alive. Close play at the net. Point for the Raiders. It's not over yet. Until this setup. It's a Mao, again, launching himself into this spike, and that's the game. Danforth, 25-23. They improved to 5-1, while Riverdale drops to 3-2. Redhawks coach Mark Grawl spoke about the tough road win.
This is a crazy place. I've coached here for 10 years, and the boys focused for both matches, which is really tough. You have the drum going, you have the fans going crazy. They stuck together as a team. They kept with themselves, they focused, and they laid it all on the court when they had to.
That sure was a crazy atmosphere in the gym in Riverdale. Keeping with volleyball, the Ontario Volleyball Association has opened up a new club for girls in East York. It's open to girls born in 1997 and 1998 and meets at the Earl Grey Senior Public School on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tryouts will be held October 27th and 29th from 6:45 to 8:30, and the season begins November 3rd. Up next, the Centennial Colts basketball teams fly high on the b-ball courts, and you've been waiting all night for our spiel on curling. Stick around, lots more to come.
Centennial Sports TV is your home to all that East York Athletics has to offer. From high school and college sports to local events and even ways to keep in shape, we will bring you all the stories from around the community. Catch us live every Friday night at 8 and learn what has gone on in the past week and what is coming in the week ahead. If you miss our live broadcast, just log on to our website, ondemand.centennialcollege.ca, to see all that happened. Centennial Sports TV, your home to East York sports.
Welcome back to CSTV. Now, I know it's a Friday night, but Matt and I are almost done, so just stay with us. Next up, we have Centennial College sports. Now we look at the basketball. In the men's game, Andre Bell scored a game-high 22 points as the Centennial Colts trounced the Loyalist Lancers 76-53 on Wednesday night. The Centennial's men got off to a hot start and led by 22 at the half and cruised the rest of the way to the win. The Colts' record improves to 1-1 with the victory. Now on the women's side, they would struggle a little bit. With a short bench, the Colts lost steam in the second half, losing 59-34 to Loyalists. The women's record now falls to 1-1 with the loss, but there's nothing wrong with being at 500.
Up next, CSTV visits a local curling club where the members play in a fun, friendly, and very open environment. Our own curling expert, Craig Richenbach, has a story of a league that delivers with a twist.
Welcome to the Royal Canadian Curling Club, home of the Riverdale Curling League. Every Sunday, the members come out to play and socialize, but one thing sets this league apart from others. Its participants are gay. I talked to Murray Leaning, president of the club for the past 8 years, about the people who make this league special.
They're fun, they're smart, they're engaged in curling, they're engaged in their community, they're engaged in having a good time.
Members of the gay community think it's important to have organizations such as this to foster relationships.
Having a gay curling league just means that you get to meet other people who enjoy the sport as much as you do, and there's that one common thread that you can bond over.
The Riverdale League welcomes players of all shapes and sizes into an environment that doesn't discriminate based on skill.
It's actually fun to be in a sport where I'm not going to feel self-conscious about myself too, right? Because that happens from time to time when you're in other sporting leagues, especially if you're with a bunch of people you don't know. So I feel more comfortable.
Scott Harcourt has competed in the past 4 gay national championships and has won 2 of them, but says the success of the league comes down to one thing.
People come back year after year. We're all good friends over the years. You get to know and meet new people all the time. You bring your friends along. It's, very, very social.
It's just like a family atmosphere. And, I call it, I come to church every Sunday, the Church of Curling, and, this is the queer church.
After spending a Sunday here at the Royal Canadian Curling Club, it's pretty clear that this league is less about the curling and more about being who you are and having fun.
There are gay people here?
Yes, there are. Very gay.
For Centennial Sports TV, I'm Craig Richenbach.
That's really a terrific story. It's wonderful to see how curling can bring the community together.
I love that music. It's stuck in my head. I don't know about you. Well, thank you for letting us into your homes every Friday night. For Jorma Ginato, Matt Levicki, have a good night.
Good night.